Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights.
I'd like to call this meeting of the Terrebonne Parish Council of Wednesday, June 12, 2024 to order. And if everyone would rise, we'll have the invocation and pledge of allegiance by Councilman Clayton Wazan. Mr. Wazan, turn on your light.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and the opportunity to come together to discuss matters in our community. Grant us the divine guidance in addressing matters placed before us. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Howard, may we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Harding.
Here.
Mr. Voisin.
Here.
Mr. Amity.
Here.
Mr. Champagne.
Here.
Mr. Hamner.
Here.
Mr. Babin.
Here.
Ms. Chauvin.
Here.
Mr. Trustclair.
Here.
Mr. Pledger.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum present.
Thank you, ma'am. Approved minutes of the regular council session held on May 15th, 2024. Moved by Mr. Babin, second Mr. Harding. Members vote your machine. 9 yeas, 0 nays. Motion passes. Distribute the minutes of the regular council session held on May 29th, 2024 has been done. Approve accounts payable list, bill list for 6/3/2024 and 6/10/2024. Move Mr. Pledger. Second Mr. Harding. Members vote your machines. 9 yeas, 0 nays. Motion carries. Item 1, general business. A, commendation commending Mr. Reggie P. Dupree Jr. upon his retirement for his years of ceaseless service to Terrebonne Parish. Mr. Danny Babin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Reggie, it's truly a pleasure to read this tonight. This parish is better for Reggie Dupree being here with us. We're safer, we're drier, we're a lot of things. Thank you very, very much for all you've done. With that, City of Houma, Louisiana Parish of Terrebonne, a commendation. Whereas Terrebonne Parish has learned that Mr. Reggie P. Dupree Jr. will be retiring in July 2024 following a total of 43 years serving Terrebonne Parish. And whereas Mr. Dupree first served Terrebonne Parish as a part-time sheriff's deputy in 1977, becoming a full-time patrolman in 1979, a position he held until 1985. And whereas in 1986, Mr. Dupree was appointed to the Recreation District Number 6 Board of Commissioners, where he served for 2 years while working as owner and operator of Reggie's Big Store Supermarket for 6 years and Berg Supermarket Incorporated, which he owns still to this day. And whereas Mr. Dupree was first elected to serve in the Terrebonne Parish Council in 1988, ultimately serving for 2 terms until 1996, while also completing his Juris Doctorate program with the Loyola School of Law and become a practicing attorney. And whereas Mr. Dupree was then elected to serve as a representative of District 56 in Louisiana House of Representatives in 1996, serving for 5 years until 2001, while also practicing law. And whereas in 2001, Mr. Dupree was then elected to serve as Senator of District 20 in the Louisiana State Senate, where he served for 8 years representing both Terrebonne and Lafourche Parish until 2009, also completing 13 years as a practicing attorney. And whereas Mr. Dupree was named the Executive Director of the Terrebonne Levee and Conservation District in 2009, a position he has held for the past 15 years. And whereas Mr. Dupree's prolific service as a legislator and a leader in the coastal restoration and hurricane protection for Terrebonne Parish has seen him enable and achieve many major accomplishments, including the creation of the Louisiana Coastal Protection and Restoration Authority, the dedication of revenues for hurricane protection and coastal restoration, and the adoption of an integrated coastal protection master plan, among many others. And whereas Terrebonne Parish wishes to recognize the exemplary efforts of Mr. Dupré serving the parish in endeavors to protect its people from disasters throughout his lasting career, now therefore be it resolved by the Terrebonne Parish Council on behalf of the parish president and the entire Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government that Mr. Reggie P. Dupré Jr. be hereby commended for his years of ceaseless service to Terrebonne Parish, and that he be presented the key to the city in recognition of his lifelong dedication to the promotion, preservation of Terrebonne Parish, its residents, and its natural landscape. Presented this 12th day of June 2024, Mr. Reggie Dupré.
Take a step to your right. Small step to the middle. Right there. Perfect. 1, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Mr. Reggie, come on to the mic. We're going to do the unthinkable and let you speak.
Thank you, members of the council. You know, you might not believe this, but when I first got elected to this body back in '87, I was very shy, reserved, and I hated talking on microphones. I don't know what happened, but the rest is history. But anyway, thank you all very much. You know, we have a new generation coming in, and even at the levy district, Miss Angela Hidalgo will be replacing me in July, effective July 15th. But just to give you all a little background, one thing I learned when I first got elected to this council back in '87, back then we had a 15-member council, and you had 11 out of 15 of us were freshmen. The other 10 were going to take over the world, but I didn't do that. I backed away and I went to the veterans on the council. You know, and I didn't always agree with what they said, but I learned procedure. I learned how to be civil and how you always keep the debate at the here and never carry it forward and never carry it personal. And lived that way all the life. And then later when I ran for state representative, the same way. We had probably the most civil race ever in the history of Terrebonne Parish. And I can attribute that tonight. My opponent is here, Judge Hagan. We've become very, very good friends. He's become a judge, and I went on to other things. But, I mean, just feel free to call if you need any advice or, you know, on how to handle things. We'll still be around. But, and, you know, Terrebonne Parish is a great parish, and she's worth saving, and her people are worth protecting. So thank you all very much.
All right, hang on, Mr. Reggie. We got a few people want to talk to you. Mr. Danny Babin?
Yeah, Reggie, and I have to tell this story because Mitch Moore, who can't be here tonight, would say it. The first time the Bubba Dove was closed, and I can't remember when it was, we happened to go on it, and that was for a tropical storm that was coming.
That's right.
And the road wasn't built to the Bubba Dove then, so we had to go by boat. The sheriff's department brought us in a boat. We get out there, and Reggie realizes his whole crew is there, and we're going to be out there a number of hours, and they haven't eaten. So I got on the telephone and called Councilman Dirk Guidry, said, "You want to be on the barge?" "Yes." "Bring some pizzas." The sheriff's department got him at T. Irv's, brought him to the barge, and it was misty rain. So we all getting ready to eat pizza, and we also had a news reporter with us on there and a camera
From Channel 8, yeah.
from Channel 8. We all eating pizza, and Reggie is giving an interview. Now, we're going to be out there for about 6 more hours, okay, at least. And Mitch Moore says, "You ever saw a fat man give up pizza to do an interview before?" There he is. Reggie, thank you for everything you've done to this parish.
Thank y'all so much.
Mr. Charles Clare?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. And Reggie, you've been a real standout and for the saving of Terrebonne Parish. You and the levy board, we would probably not be sitting here today had y'all not be doing what y'all did to save our coastline and give us flood protection. A lot of us wouldn't even be able to live where we're living at now. So kudos to you and enjoy your retirement. One thing I'm looking at the agenda, and you must be pretty important because you got the first item on the agenda. And right below you is Ms. Rome, and this is the third meeting that she's tried to give us an agenda, and you jumped ahead of her. So you got some stroke. But Reggie, good luck in all your future endeavors, you and Yvonne.
Yeah.
I know she's excited to see you give it up.
She says it's her turn.
and enjoy your retirement, and I still live behind the
Thank
store,
you.
so if you need anything, let me know.
And look, I want to thank y'all for y'all service, because when I was a council member representing 6,500 people, I'd get more calls than as a state senator representing 120,000. So the general public calls their local government first all the time. And I understand the sacrifices not only y'all have to make, but especially your families.
Mr. Wazan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Congratulations, Mr. Reggie.
Thank you.
Some of my memories of you in the past is, when I was with my father, particularly after storms, out doing what we do, right? And I was always his driver, and you were always boots on the ground, out there working hard for the people and evaluating, and I'm sure you never stopped learning. But one thing I remember my daddy telling me, his go-to when he needed information on Terrebonne Parish was you and Mr. Clifford Smith. Y'all were the two most intelligent people in this parish when it came to the geographics of this parish. And coming from him, that was a big deal to me.
Thank you.
And you've always offered me the same courtesy, and I appreciate it, and I'm sure every member on here appreciates you so much. Thank you, Mr. Reggie.
And Mr. Reggie, from the chair, Beryl and I have had experiences throughout the years, especially when you were in the Senate. I know she would go to you quite a bit for different things. And the one thing that we learned is that you were a voice of reason. And that really helped her in where she's at today, and me where I'm sitting at today. To not be so quick to act on something you hear, but to sit back and gather the whole story so that you can give wise advice. And for that, sir, you have your wisdom for things in this parish. I don't know that even the late Leonard Chabert, he was a go-getter, but I think you were more smooth, and nothing against Mr. Chabert, but I think you were more polished, and probably because of your shyness at the beginning. But, I thank you for that, because for all of us who are up and coming, we can look at yourself, Mr. Chabert, and others who have served before us, and we can glean off of that wisdom. And it's because of people like yourself that we have the opportunities, and we don't come in here and make a mess of ourselves because of the advice you just gave a while ago. Come in, sit, and learn the procedures and learn how to do things. And I thank you for that, sir.
Thank you.
With that, we got one more wants to say something, Mr. Clyde Hamner.
Yeah, my apologies.
all right.
I wasn't going to speak, but I decided I needed to say this to Mr. Dupre. It's more of a personal note. I want you to know what an inspiration you've been to me in particularly. You probably don't remember, but I remember when I first met you. Somebody had gotten married. There was a wedding reception at Town Hall. Bobby Bergeron, you were talking to him, and he had introduced me to you. That was the first time I ever met you. And over the years, I've watched you and followed your career, in the legislature. And, it really has inspired me, who was, at that time, I had no intentions of being politically involved, but it's people like you that got me involved. And I wanted to thank you for that. I also want to apologize to you for the time on the school board you were doing a presentation on something and I fell asleep on you. It wasn't your presentation. It was a particularly long day. I had gone to Baton Rouge, and it was but Jack Moore threw something at me and woke me up in time to vote for the issue that you were there presenting on. Thank you for doing that, Jack. And just again, thank you, Reggie, for the inspiration you've given to people like me.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm gonna do something, just give an opportunity to anybody that's out there that's worked with Mr. Dupre, Miss Angela, if you want to say a few words, anybody wants to say a few words, please come up to the mic and we'll give you the freedom to go
Yes, sir.
against us.
Thank you very much. I hope for this opportunity. My name is Jack Moore. I am a commissioner on the Terrebonne Levy and Conservation District. I wish I had known Reggie a lot when I was younger, and perhaps I could have learned some of that civility that it takes in a public
Yes.
setting. Just recently, I have worked with him now for how long? 15 years? I think it's just hitting me that how much this man has touched this parish. His steps, his footprints, his hands have been on almost everything that's imaginable, from the sheriff's office to the council to the state government and so forth, as we all know. He's going to be sorely missed. We're going to keep him on for a little while just to make sure that we stay everything right. But I want to thank him for his service and acknowledge all of his accomplishments. Thank you, Reggie. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you,
for
Mr.
the
Moore.
time.
Uh-oh, the wife speaks, you're in trouble now.
I do not normally speak in public because my knees are knocking and I might start crying. But I have to tell you, as the wife of Reggie, it's been a wonderful, wonderful honor. And to tell you his love for this parish and this state, I'd have to tell you it's the only mistress I ever had to contend with. I'm fortunate. My husband has been very loving to me, so I have no reason to hang my head in shame. But the only thing that I ever had to compete with was the parish of Terrebonne, and well worth it. So I just wanted to give you that perspective.
Well, thank you for sharing him with us.
You can't have him anymore.
Oh, no.
It's my turn.
I hope that you guys have a wonderful time from this
No,
day forward.
he
Oh,
will.
we know.
he will never be gone because he's too involved with everything. But I wanted you to know that. Thank you.
Good evening, y'all. Thank you so much for doing this for Reggie. I mean, he's touched so many lives here in Terrebonne, especially mine. He's changed the trajectory of my whole future. I want to thank you guys for honoring him. This is so special to him, to Yvonne, to all of us at the Levy District, and to me personally. So thank you guys very much. I'm so looking forward to working with you guys. So thanks again.
Ms. Hidalgo, congratulations.
Thank you.
You got big shoes to fill.
Yes, I do. He'll be still around to help me, so that's good. So that's a good thing.
Yes,
Thank y'all.
absolutely.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Mr. Noah?
Yeah, I just want to say on behalf of administration, thank you, Mr. Reggie, for setting an example of public service and loving our parish so much, and we will work hard to continue to protect and preserve the thing that you fought for so long. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Learett. All right. Item B, Energy Representative Ms. Paula Rome wishes to address the council regarding lighting reports and sustainability plans. Before you get started, Ms. Rome, are you guys sticking around, or y'all want to get up and I'll give you the opportunity before we get started. Y'all go out and celebrate. We'll give them just a second, Ms. Paula.
Georgia to get out, by the way.
Yeah. You've sat through enough board meetings.
How do y'all want me to follow this?
With good news.
Always. All right, ready?
Yeah.
Okay, thank y'all for having me this evening. I'm Paula Rome, Customer Service Manager for the Bayou region for Entergy, Louisiana. I'm here to present to y'all on street lighting report, things we have fixed since the last time I've been here. Talk a little bit about our resiliency, hurricane season resiliency coming up, and the Bayou Power Barge. So a little bit about street lighting report. We were here last in March to talk about street lights. In April, we received 760 streetlight outage tickets, and we repaired those outage tickets. Those outage tickets came from the app, from council members, from residents, and from some early morning patrols that we did. So our street lighting crews were patrolling the area before sunrise for 2 hours, and they were fixing it that evening. And through that, we patrolled over 600 lights and repaired 160 of that. So we patrolled 600 and found 160 that were burnt. The parish president asked us to look at lights, particularly on Hollywood Road. So we identified and repaired lights on the energy system that were on Hollywood Road. Other lights that were out on Hollywood Road are not energy owned and power supplied by other utilities. The South Hollywood Road from Highway 311 to South Down Mandalay Road is not on the energy system. So if you see some of those out, that's not on our system, but you can report that to Houma Utilities or SLECA. In May, we got another 262 streetlights reported out, and we repaired those as well. So far, in the last few months, we've repaired over 1,000 lights in Terrebonne Parish, and I hope that y'all are seeing the change. I know when I drive around the parish at night, it looks brighter, so I hope you're seeing the change. So just for the public's knowledge and the council people's knowledge, a lot of y'all are doing this already, but we do have an energy app that has been updated now to make it easier for residents to report streetlight outages. If you download the Energy app or go to energy.com, you can find it there. But there is a particular button to report a streetlight out, and it works off a GPS. So you can be right underneath the light, you could be driving down the road, pull over, obviously for safety, pull over for safety, and select the light that's out. And you can report it right there. If you're an energy user and you have an account as a registered user, it will save that in your app. If you're not an energy user, you can still use the app and report the streetlight out and screenshot the picture. Will give you a confirmation number which now talks to our system. the correct way. And you can send that to me, or you can call 1-800-ENERGY with that account number, that confirmation number they give you, and they will give you the status of the report on the app. That you report out. That the reports being now are taking about 3 to 6 business days to once you report the app out to them being fixed in the parish is about the average that we're having right now. Next, unfortunately, it is now hurricane season, so we are living in hurricane mode and talking a lot about resiliency. Unfortunately, we are having bigger and stronger storms, and I don't have to explain that to these people, to you in Terrebonne Parish, because we see them here. So the question is, what is energy doing to better our system? So at the end of March, end of March, early April, the Louisiana Public Service Commission approved what we call our Energy Future Ready Plan, which is our resiliency plan. They approved $1.9 billion for the next, $1.9 billion for the next 5 years for us to go in and do transmission and distribution hardening efforts. So I don't have, this is a breakdown of the number of projects, how many lines and poles that will be hardened. So what this means is that we're going to come in, and if we just replaced, even if we just replace poles in an area that are not rated to 150 mile per hour, we're going to replace them in the area. And we have a list of projects. I'm working on getting that list of projects specifically for Terrebonne Parish and your council districts. And when I have that, I'll come sit down with you and share with you what will be done in each of your districts. But we have that plan. We put it in front of the Public Service Commission. They vetted it for about a year and a half, and they approved $1.9 billion for the next 5 years. So you should start seeing boots on the ground and these projects happening in the community. Obviously, the parishes and the areas that are close to the coast that get affected by hurricanes in the state of Louisiana have the bulk of the projects, which means Terrebonne Parish is top of that list. So I don't know exactly how many projects are coming to this parish or your districts, but they're working on getting me that information. When I do, I'll come sit down with each of you and explain to you what's happening in your area. So that's called the Energy Future Ready Plan, Resiliency Plan. If you've seen that in the news and some talks about it, that's some exciting news I want to share with you. You're going to start seeing that very soon, those projects being worked. The project that we submitted with Terrebonne Parish for the FEMA brick grant money was one of those projects in there for the Montague community. So that is one of those projects. And finally, the last project that we're excited to talk about is the Bayou Power Barge. This is something that we just recently submitted in March in front of the Public Service Commission. We're expecting them to spend the next several months vetting through it, looking through it, and hopefully we'll get an answer on the funding for this project by the end of this year. What this project is, this is at a cost of $411 million. This will basically be this is where the old Bobby Lynn Marina is in Leeville. This is going to be a floating power generating plant, is the best way to explain it. We're calling it the Bayou Power Barge. It will enhance resiliency and ensure we have adequate resources after a storm to power back up Port Fourchon, which, as we know, is critical to the whole Bayou region economy as well as the nation's economy. I think the last numbers in the economic impact study done by Lauren Scott showed that for every day Port Fourchon is shut down, it affects the national GDP $1 million a day. So we know how important that is in Terrebonne Parish. We have a bunch of oil and gas service companies here that rely on Port Fourchon. So this power station is important to the whole Bayou region. So we're expecting this to get approval by the Public Service Commission at the end of this year. And so you should be hearing a lot about that in the upcoming weeks and months in the media. So I wanted to come and give you some information on that. Any questions on any of these?
Well, let's see, Mr. Wazan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't really have any questions for you. I just wanted to thank you for coming and presenting this to us. And thank you for all y'all hard work. I know, speaking for me and District 3, you've done an incredible job getting things repaired and fixed, and I know y'all gonna continue doing that going forward, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Clayton. I appreciate it. And I've gone through the parish with some of the councilmen. I've offered this before. If you have street lights out that you would like me to come and ride with you, do a street light patrol with you so we can identify those, so I can turn them in, I'll be happy to do that. So if y'all have any particular areas that y'all have concern with, I'll be happy to set up an appointment and come do that with you.
Mr. Trosclair.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Excuse me. Hey, Paula, you kind of alluded earlier about an early morning drive-by by some of y'all technicians and stuff. Is that an ongoing thing, or that was just kind of like a one-off deal?
It was a one-off because we had so many that we knew at the time, Steve. If, as we hear of more outages, I can request that, but it's not something that we do on a regular basis.
Okay, yeah, I mean, it's obvious there's a lot of progress being made, and especially, in my district for sure.
Okay, good.
I'm sure it's parish-wide.
Good, I'm glad y'all seeing the progress.
I just want you to know I appreciate what y'all doing. And that was my question. I just wondered if it was a one-off or if that was something that was continuous. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Paula, I appreciate the app. I really love the way it works, and the technician that goes out will actually call me if he has any questions. And I generally have to tell him, he'll say, I'm in front of your house. I said, no, you're not in front of my house, but but anyway, I'll answer whatever question you might have. And I think it's been a useful tool that I've been able to use, and I always encourage the public, and I'm glad that you brought up the fact that you don't have to be an energy customer to use that app, because a lot of the council members are in their districts, they have other providers like the City of Houma Utilities or SLECA. But I know it's been great for me. So that's why you're not having phone calls from me, because I can put it in the app and a couple of days later they're on top of it. So thank you for coming, and we look forward to you coming again when you're ready to share some things with us.
Thank y'all for having me. And at the meeting before last, when I had to miss, I wanted to apologize. We were actually, unfortunately, dealing with a storm in the Port Allen area. I was helping out those folks in that area. Unfortunately, these little thunderstorms that are coming up are causing outages. We're seeing more of these thunderstorms that are bringing in these tornadoes. About 2 weeks ago, I guess that was maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago now, we had tornadoes that hit the Lafayette Lake Charles area that caused outages, and then the next day hit the Port Allen area. So my philosophy is, if we don't show up to go help those people in need, they won't show up when we are in need, and we have the needs more often, unfortunately.
I still have communication with Chris Wasson, who came down from Arkansas.
Yeah.
So a relationship was built there. And so again, thank you for coming, Ms. Paula.
Thank y'all very much.
So I have a motion to go into 6:30 public hearing by Mr. Pleasure, second by Mr. Champagne. Members, vote your machines. 9 yeas, 0 nays. We're in 6:30 public hearings. Item A, an ordinance to authorize the acquisition of sites and/or servitude on property belonging to Crescent Farms Plantation, LLC. Authorize the parish president to execute any and all documents necessary to acquire sites, property, and/or servitudes for said purposes. Public once. Public twice. Third time public. Motion to close, Mr. Babin. Second, Ms. Chauvin. Members, vote your machines. 9 yeas, 0 nays. Motion to adopt, Mr. Harding. Second, Mr. Champagne. Members, vote your machines. 9 yeas, 0 nays. Ordinance is adopted. Item B, an ordinance naming the new Hollywood Road Extension Bridge the PTN Bush Memorial Bridge in honor of Houma Police Department Patrolman Austin S. Bush. Call for public once. Second call public. Third and final call public. Mr. Daniel Babin.
Yeah, John, I'd like to call the police chief, Mr. Travis Terrio, up here before we close this, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Chief.
Travis Terrio, Houma Police Department, 500 Endure Street. I want to thank Mr. Babin, administration, Parish President Badgeron, and all y'all for the support in making sure that we never forget the memory of Austin Bush. He said that he wanted to, make an impact on our community, and if he served a 30-year career and made a difference to one person, he said his career would all be worth it. I think he changed our whole agency as a whole in a short time he was with us serving. And I can't think of anything more of an honor than to make sure that we have a bridge such as that. But I'd like to introduce his family that's here. His mother, I'd like to call him up, Miss Nikki Bush and Mr. Bill Bush, and his sister Alyssa, and his Austin's nephew, Spencer Bush, which is named after him, Austin Spencer Bush. And we'll put Miss Nikki on the spot. Usually she's a pretty good on-the-spot speaker.
And then mic pulls down if you want to pull that mic down.
Okay, thank you. I guess I'll say a little bit of what I had said, because we went to the police memorial a few weeks ago, about a month ago, and I said, good evening, each one of you. Each one of our loved ones had a calling to serve, just as my son did, and his motto was to touch or change one person's life as an officer. We are here to help one another and build up each other. In his short amount of years on this earth, and little did we know that he and his story would encourage and build up so many. My son was Austin Spencer Bush, born February 26, 2000, and his end of watch was September 16, 2021. He was a funny kid growing up, and he loved acting and making noises. Even though he was the size of a kid to play football, his calling was to be an actor and, doing theater classes and making funny noises and stuff. So we kind of noticed that's what, kind of his calling was at that moment. And about his junior year of high school, Austin started showing interest in becoming an officer. We even tried to deter him, but he just kept pushing forward for that even more. One story we remember is whenever we would ask him to take the dogs out at night, and he wouldn't go unless someone was watching him at the door. So the backstory is we lived in Village East for 25 years, and he's like, go take dogs out. Somebody better watch me at this door. And we're like, you want to be a police officer, but you can't even go bring the dogs out. And he's like, yeah, but as an officer, I know somebody's going to have my back, and I need y'all to have my back right now, So when he graduated from school, he decided that he wanted to go to college for criminal justice. And he was so proud that he finished, and he couldn't wait to start anywhere. He was like telling me, Mom, I'm going to go to Tennessee and be in the forestry department, or I want to go do this. And he even went to the point of going to the state police department and saying, I want to be state police. So he walked in there, and I said, go in there, shake the guy's hand, and introduce yourself. And he went out there and did that. And then after he got the credentials for state police, he says, well, no, I think I'm going to go to the parish to the city police, So he went and applied to parish police and went talk to the sheriff, and he did that. And even the sheriff says, dude, he goes, if you're going to do this, you want to start with the jail? And he's like, oh yeah. He goes, no matter what, I want my foot in the door. And then when he got that phone call from Houma Police and I'm like, are you sure Houma Police called you or the sheriff called you? And he's like, no, Houma Police. And he started with them. And once he started with them, and then I asked him a few weeks later, and I'm like, hey, I said, would have wished a sheriff would have called you, or are you glad? He goes, no. He goes, the Houma Police Department, he goes, it's like a family. He goes, and I'm glad that's where I ended up at. And a little bit more was, that morning, like I said, he was dedicated to being there and stuff. Even though they got activated in for Hurricane Ida and stuff, he wanted to be there, and he was excited every morning. He's like, oh, we eating breakfast with Mr. Dana and all. He goes, and we go to breakfast, and then we go out to where our post is and all. So he was actually with the department for 72 days. And I really don't think none of those officers that helped him that day knew who Austin was, but each one of them jumped in and went in to help him, and put their lives at risk also to help him that day. over the past 2.5 years, God has placed officers in our path that we got to meet them over the last 2.5 years and talk to them. And they not only building us up, but God has placed us to be able to tell them, thank you, and to be a light to other people. And now actually we're working with our church and we're doing grief share classes and all, and we're helping other people in that, and I just thank God. I got to tell him, I said, look, if we give y'all an armband, all we ask you is to keep us in prayer. I said, because through God, every day he has helped us in our walk, and we're able to smile and say, look, God walked us through this. And we want to thank y'all so much, because it's like, I want somebody to go and say, hey, why that bridge is named that? I want to know who Austin is. I want to know what he did for this community, and that he was there to help other people, to serve as a servant to the community. So, and thank y'all so much.
Well, thank you for taking the time to share that, so that everybody has had an opportunity to get to know him a little bit better. And I know, speaking to Chief Terrio and hearing his heart, a lot of officers there are really missing him. He was apparently, like you said, having that personality that just grabs everybody's attention really means a lot, especially when you're working in a, like you called it, a family knit organization. From this council, we're really sorry and share our condolences on the whole situation, and the least that we can do is put up a memorial for him, so that, just like you said, it'll keep people wanting to know who he was and what he did, and that's going to encourage a lot. So I commend your faith and the stance that you guys have taken, and if there's anything that we can do, certainly reach out either through the chief or straight to the council or the parish government, and we'll be more than happy to help you in that situation.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I have a motion to close by Mr. Babin, second Mr. Harding. Members, vote your machines. 9 yeas, 0 nays. Motion to adopt, Mr. Babin, second Mr. Harding. Members, vote your machines. 9 yeas, 0 nays. The ordinance is adopted, and his nameplate will be on that bridge.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief. Item C, an ordinance to declare a surplus adjudicated property located at 448 8th, in which the parish has a 32.2916%. First call public. Second call public. Third and final call public. Motion to close, Mr. Champagne. Second, Ms. Chauvin. Members, vote your machines. 9 yeas, 0 nays. Motion to adopt, Mr. Champagne. Second, Ms. Chauvin. Members, vote your machines. 9 yeas, 0 nays. Ordinance is adopted. Item D, an ordinance to declare a surplus adjudicated property located at 708 Wilson Avenue in which the parish has a 56.8541%. First call public. Second call public. Third and final call public.
Motion to close.
Motion to close, Mr. Champagne. Second, Ms. Chauvin. Members, vote your machines. 9 yeas, 0 nays. Motion to adopt, Mr. Champagne. Second, Ms. Chauvin. Members, vote your machines. 8 yeas, 0 nays. Ordinance is adopted. Item E, an ordinance to declare as surplus 6 adjudicated properties in which the parish has 100%. First call public. Second call public. Third and final call public. Motion to close, Mr. Babin. Second, Ms. Chauvin. Members, vote your machines. 9 yeas, 0 nays. Motion to adopt, Ms. Chauvin. Second, Mr. Harding. Members, vote your machines. 9 yeas, 0 nays. The ordinance is adopted. Item F, an ordinance to add Connolly Park to the list of parks identified in Section 21-30 and 21-31 of the Terrebonne Parish Code of Ordinances. First call, public. Second call, public. Third and final call, public.
Second.
Mr. Trustclair, you want to speak on that?
You want to take the vote on closing public?
I can. So we have the motion by Mr. Trustclair, second was by Mr. Champagne. Members, vote your machines for the closing of the public hearing. 9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Candace or whoever, it brought to my attention when someone lives on the East Park area where Connolly Park is, that Connolly is supposed to only have one L in it. So whenever we put it in the in the archives, it gets spelled right because they were very passionate about that for some reason. So let's make sure we get the spelling right. Thank you very much.
Mr. Lerat?
Yes, sir. We're going to take care of that. Mr. Pulaski's on vacation this week, but
That's
as soon
fine.
as we get back with him, we'll take care of it.
All right, thanks.
So motion to adopt, Mr. Trostclair. Second, Mr. Harding. Members, vote your machines. 8 yeas, 0 nays. The ordinance is adopted. Item G, an ordinance to amend certain portions of Section 19-56 of the Terrebonne Parish Code of Ordinances relative to parade viewing stands. First call, public. Second call, public. Third and final call, public. Motion to close, Mr. Trostclair. Second, Mr. Babin. Members, vote your machines. Nine yeas, 0 nays. Motion to adopt, Mr. Trostclair. Second, Mr. Babin. Members, vote your machines. 9 yeas, 0 nays. Ordinance is adopted. Motion to go back in the regular order, Mr. Harding. Second, Mr. Babin. Members, vote your machines. 9 yeas, 0 nays. We're back into regular order. General business, item C. Resolution support of rocking the coastal barrier islands and rocking to narrow the island channels off the coast of Terrebonne and Lafourche parishes. Moved by Mr. Trostclair, second by Ms. Chauvin. Members, vote your machines. 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 2, public wishing to address the council. As per speaker cards, in accordance with Section 2-07E of the Terrebonne Parish Home Rule Charter, the public will be heard and can speak for 3 minutes on any matter related to parish government without discussion or questions and answers on non-agenda items. Mr. Pleasure, I have no speaker cards. You had something you wanted to say?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Got ahead of myself.
Well, nothing wrong with that. Item 3, committee reports. Item A, budget and finance, Mr. Pleasure.
All right, I'll say it now.
All right.
I make a motion that the council accept and ratify the minutes of the Budget and Finance Committee held on June 26, 2024, and I have one public hearing. Consider the introduction of an ordinance to amend the 2024 adopted operating budget and budgeted positions of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government for the following items and to provide for related matters. Item number 1, Houma Downtown Development, $128,677. Item number 2, Pollution Control, $116,248. Item number 3, Pollution Control, $108,000. Item number 4, Sanitation Vegetation, minus $23,700. Item 4A, eliminate one full-time mechanic, grade 106. Item 4B, eliminate one full-time equipment operator, 2, grade 106. Item number 4C, add one full-time crew leader, grade 107. Item number 5, sanitation, solid waste, minus $19,310. Item number 5A, eliminate one full-time field tech 1, grade 103. Item number 5B, eliminate one full-time field tech 2, grade 104. Item number 5C, add one full-time equipment operator 2, grade 106, and call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, June 26, 2024, at 6:30 p.m.
I have a motion by Mr. Pleasure, a second by Mr. Babin. Members, vote your machines. Nine yeas, 0 nays. Item B, Public Services Committee, Mr. Babin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I make a motion that the council accept and ratify the minutes of the Public Service Committee meeting held on June 26, 2024, and I have one public hearing. Consider the introduction of an ordinance to declare as surplus and to authorize the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government to donate 4 transit buses no longer needed for public purposes to Terrebonne Council on Aging Incorporated for use in the transportation of the elderly in Terrebonne Parish, Louisiana, and to authorize Terrebonne Parish President to execute the necessary documents to effectuate the donation and to provide for the relative matters and call a public hearing on Wednesday, June 26, 2024 at 6:30 p.m.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Babin, second by Mr. Hamner. Members, vote your machines. 9 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries. Item C, Community Development and Planning Committee, Ms. Chauvin.
I make a motion that the council accept and ratify the minutes of the Community Development and Planning Committee held on June 26, 2024, and I have one condemnation hearing. Resolution giving notice of intent to adopt an ordinance to dedicate and accept the maintenance operation of the streets, drainage, servitudes, sewer, and rights-of-way for Adley Oak Subdivision Phase C. Energize and accept the street lights and to incorporate Red Knot Drive and the extension of Adley Avenue into the enhanced 911 emergency response system for the purpose of providing a better means of locating addresses, and call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, June 26, 2024 at 6:30 p.m.
We have a motion by Ms. Chauvin, a second by Mr. Harding. And just for the record, the meeting was held on June 10th, 2024. Members, vote your machines. Did I type it wrong?
Right.
9 yeas, 0 nays. Motion carries. Item D, Policy, Procedure, and Legal Committee, Mr. Hamner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Turn on your light. There you go.
I make a motion that the council accept and ratify the minutes of the Policy, Procedures, and Legal Committee held on, is that the June 10th as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, on June 10th, 2024, and I have no public hearings.
So we have a motion by Mr. Hamner. Second by Mr. Chumpine. Members, vote your machines. 9 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries. Item 4, streetlights. As per Mr. Pleasure, second Mr. Babin. Members, vote your machines. 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 5, appointments to various boards, committees, and commissions. A, Recreation District Number 1 Board, 2 expiring terms, 1 on 6/12/24 and 1 on 7/10/24. Mr. Justin T. Ward expresses his interest in being reappointed. I have a motion by Mr. Babin to open, close, and appoint Mr. Ward and hold the other. A second by Mr. Harding. Members, vote your machines. 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item B, Recreation District Number 3A Board, 1 expired term. Ms. Claudette McKay expresses her interest in being reappointed.
Motion to open, close, and appoint Ms. McKay.
We have a motion by Mr. Pleasure to open, close, and appoint Ms. McKay, second by Mr. Trustclair. Members, vote your machines. 8 yeas, 1 abstention. Item C, Veterans Memorial District Board, 1 vacancy due to a resignation representing the parish president south of the Intracoastal, and 1 vacancy due to a resignation representing Leonard Hotard, Post 37. Mr. Adam C. Dosher, nominated by the Russell Redmond American Legion, Post 272, submits application and resume for consideration. Mr. Michael Lawson submits application and resume for consideration. We have a motion by Mr. Babin to open, close, and vote, seconded by Mr. Harding. Members, vote your machines. We have a voice vote. Ms. Charlie, can you give us a voice vote, please?
Mr. Harding. Mr. Voisin. Mr. Amity.
Dozier?
Mr. Champagne. Mr. Hamner. Mr. Babin. Ms. Chauvin. Mr. Trustclair. Mr. Pledger. Unanimous vote, 9 for Mr. Dozier.
I see Mr. Dozier's in the audience. Would you like to come up and say a few words, sir? Okay. Well, congratulations, and we hope you give them good service like you did in the military. Item D, Consolidated Waterworks District Number 1 Board, 3 expiring terms on 6/24/24, 1 representing each of the following: District 1, District 2, and District 4. Mr. Troy Welch, representing District Number 1, submits application and resume for consideration. Mr. Wilbert Thomas, representing District Number 2, expresses his interest in being reappointed.
Motion to open, close, and appoint Mr. Troy Welch and Mr. Wilbert Thomas, and hold the third one over.
All right, so I have a motion by Mr. Pledger to open, close, and appoint and hold the other over. A second by Mr. Harding. Members, vote your machines. Nine yeas, 0 nays. Mr. Welch is in the audience. Would you like to say a few words, sir? Just step up to the podium here and give us your name and address for the record.
Troy Welch, 9296 Main Street, Houma. I just would like to let you guys know, or the council, I'm sorry, that I'm honored to have been considered, even more honored to have been appointed, and I'll do my best to serve honorably, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And I like the beard.
Oh, me too. Thank you for noticing.
It's a thing now. Item E, Children and Youth Services Board, 7 expired terms, each representing one of the following: Department of Children and Family Services, Bayou Area Children Foundation, City Court, Gulf Coast Teaching and Family Services, Terrebonne Parish Sheriff's Office, Houma Police Department, and Terrebonne Parish School Board. Ms. Kira P. Adams, representing Office of the District Public Defender, 32nd Judicial Court, expresses her interest in being reappointed. We have a motion by Mr. Harding to open, close, and appoint Ms. Adams and hold the other, seconded by Mr. Pledger. Members, vote your machines. 8 yeas, 1 abstention. Congratulations to Ms. Adams. Item 6, monthly engineering reports. As we have a motion as per Mr. Babin, second Mr. Pledger. Members, vote your machines. 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 7, staff reports. This item was pulled at the request of administration. Number 8, vacancies to various boards, committees, and commissions. A, Recreation District Number 1 Board, 1 expiring term on 7/10/24. Recreation District Number 2-3 Board, 1 expired term. Recreation District Number 6 Board, 2 expiring terms on 7/31/24. Coteau Fire Protection District Board, 1 expired term. Children and Youth Services Board, 7 expired terms, each representing one of the following: Department of Children and Family Services, Bayou Area Children Foundation, City Court, Gulf Coast Teaching and Family Services, Terrebonne Parish Sheriff's Office, Houma Police Department, and Terrebonne Parish School Board. Planning and Zoning Commission, 1 expired term, applicant must reside in the city of Houma. Downtown Development Corporation, 3 expired terms, each representing the following entities: 1 representing the Parish Council, 1 representing the Historical Society, and 1 representing Downtown Merchants. Municipal Civil Service Board, 1 expired term representing the council, and 1 vacancy due to resignation representing the council, nominated by Nicholls State University. South Central Human Services, 1 expired term. Terrebonne Parish Tree Board, 1 expired term and 1 vacancy due to a resignation. Veterans Memorial District Board, 1 vacancy due to resignation, representing the parish president south of the Intracoastal. Consolidated Waterworks District Number 1 Board, 1 expiring term on 6/24/24, representing District 4. TGMC Hospital Service District Board, 3 expiring terms on 7/31/24. Announcements. Mr. Leroy, do you have anything for the parish president?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We had a parish employee pass away yesterday, Mr. Bennett Odemall, with the Public Works Department. He was a long-standing employee, very well-liked, hard worker. So we just want to give our condolences to the family and ask that everybody pray for that family. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Leroy. Council members? Mr. Harding.
Yes, the parish has actually partnered in actually supporting big business basketball tournament and expo to be held Saturday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. An opportunity to get some good basketball games in, and the business expo to actually support that particular community. Also on Saturday, the Terrebonne Parish NAACP Youth Council will have their Juneteenth celebration at Dumas Auditorium, 301 West Turner Boulevard, and that would be like from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Thank you.
Mr. Babin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd just like to thank my grandson, Patrick Andrews, for coming to learn a little bit about local government tonight. from
Patrick
Baton Rouge,
Henry
Louisiana.
Andrews, you mean? Is that Patrick Henry Andrews?
Patrick Henry Andrews, correct.
That's right. When you introduce yourself, you always say that because Patrick Henry was a great man, and I'm sure that with the guidance of your parents, you'll become a great man. I'm not sure about your grandfather, all right? Just take advantage of him. But it's good to have you here. Thank you for coming. Mr. Wazan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just like to say a happy Father's Day to everyone attending, all the council members that are fathers, and everybody in the public. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wazan. Ms. Chauvin.
While I am not of Indian descent, I just really wanted to put something out there. They have the 12th annual powwow at the Barry P. Bonbland Civic Center. There's going to be bleachers available. However, you may bring your personal chairs if you would like to sit closer to the dance arena. That will be happening on June 15th and 16th. So that'll be June 15th and 16th this coming weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Motion adjourned, Mr. Babin. Second, Mr. Harding. Members, vote your machines. And everybody enjoy your evening.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra, available with the connected driving experience and the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Or get $3,500 purchase cash on select GMC Sierra models. Or get a total of $6,000 purchase allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle. See your local GMC dealer.